Welcome to Dancing Water. Namaste. I just got this as a gift, and this is a reminder for your own health and the health of everyone around you. Wear your mask, namaste or not. Welcome to Dancing Water. I'm Susan McCulley, and I am so glad you're here. Today's practice is a restorative yoga practice, and we will be focusing our attention on the head and heart connection and on looking out and looking in. For our practice today, just need the simplest props. Let's start with that and then we'll get right into it. So all you need are 2 towels. 2 bath towels will work great, and folding them into 2 squares. So start with a long fold that in half, and then fold it in half again. So 2 towels like that. And I'm just going to stack mine up here so that I can then sit on them for the beginning of our practice. The other things you'll need is a scarf or some piece of long material. It could be a small blanket, but something light enough that you can wrap around your body, light and long enough that you can wrap around your body. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but something that's too thick may be difficult to wrap. And then you can use either your mask or some other kind of eye covering if that feels good. And as always, if you'd like some water or some tea to hydrate your practice, I always recommend that. It's in the middle of July, a little cold, dandy blend. Very good. So my friends, there are times in our lives where what we need to do is to reorient ourselves, notice where we have landed, and to look inward, to introspect into what is arising, what is actually happening. It is so easy to be caught in the rush and tumble of our days, to be distracted by noise and confusion, to be seduced by the momentum of habit. I invite us to use this practice in a mindful way to reorient, to introspect, to look inward, and to connect the head and the heart. You may have heard, I've had teachers say that the longest distance you'll ever travel is between your head and your heart. So let's travel that distance together today. So I'm sitting on the edge of my towels here, my 2 towel squares, just to lift my hips a little bit, make it a little more comfortable to sit. We won't be here long. You're welcome to do this in a chair, and you could even do this standing if it feels better to you. So take a moment here and just let yourself arrive. Feel the support that's underneath you. And just take a couple of deep grounding breaths, focusing particularly on the exhalation. So filling your body and then exhaling fully. If you're a counter, you could even count in to a count of 3 or 4. And then exhale 1 or 2 counts longer than your inhale. And as you're ready, as you inhale, very gently just allow your eyes to orient you in the space, looking around your body, to the left and to the right, allowing your body's natural inclination to want to look in the space in which it is residing. And you can do this without force, but with some curiosity, looking above and below, Maybe even turning enough so that you can look behind you. This is a way of settling your nervous system. If you're indoors, looking for doorways and windows, hallways, openings, height of the ceiling, size of the space. If you're outdoors, you might look for pathways or roads or gates, any lines of travel. Whether you're indoors or out, look as far as you can, whether it's out a window or to the next room or just in this space. And then take your hands together and look inward, rubbing your hands lightly together, just feeling the temperature and the texture of your palms. And beginning by connecting our head. So just taking your hands to your head and first just feel the weight and the warmth of your hands. And then just give your scalp a little bit of a scratch, a little stretch of the skin on your scalp. You might take your pads of your fingers and massage like you're shampooing your hair or your scalp. You might, depending on your hair, you might give it a little tug. Like me, I've got a little bun, so you could give it a little tug there. One of the great things of practicing remotely is that nobody sees your hair. You guys see my hair, but that's okay. And then take the pads of your fingers and just give a little circular massage to your temples. Do this gently. This can be a tender place. Just feeling the space right at the outside edges of your eyes. And then take your fingers across your forehead and just like you're swiping, alternating the palm that comes down first, just swiping across your forehead a couple of times. And then take the pads of your fingers to your jaw, starting at the base of your earlobe and draw a line, just draw down through the musculature of your jaw, letting your teeth part a little bit, and just give a little bit of release through the jaw. Good. And then give your hands a shake out. So imagine that you've collected any anxiety or any thinking in your hands and give it a little shake. And then take your palms together again and rub them until they feel warm. And then let your hands come in contact with your heart, stacking your palms over your heart. And with your mind's eye, imagine that your hands are doing the same thing on the back of your body like this. So imagine that your own hands are warm and supportive at the back of your heart. So your actual hands are right there at the front, supporting your heart, and you can feel your hands, your imaginary hands, at the back of your heart. Take a breath into that sensation of support at front and back. We'll play with all of those sensations as we go into our postures. So begin by, you've got your scarf. Begin by just taking your body and taking your two towel squares and make them into a long bolster kind of situation. So up near the top of your mat, we're going to take a variation on crocodile pose, which is a face down pose. And begin by taking your scarf and wrapping it around your heart. So just taking it and just feeling it snugly enough that you can feel some support at both your front and your back. And then from here on all fours, just draw one knee toward the wrist and just come down gently onto the support of the towels. So you notice I've got one elbow and one knee are close together, and the other elbow and knee are separate. And on that separate side, just take your palm and rest it at the back of your neck. So as if your head was like a baby's head that you're supporting, giving it a little warmth and a little connection at the back of your body. So breathe and feel the wrap of the scarf around you, not as a constriction, but almost like a hug. So obviously, since I referred to the mask, I'm recording this in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis. And so hugs are few and far between for many of us. And this can be really challenging in that we crave this connection. So using this wrapped scarf is a way of giving ourselves this connection, this hugging sensation. Notice the sensation on the inside of your arm and the inside of your bent leg. Feeling your cheek soft and supported into the towel. Remembering that we gave some massage to the temples and to the jaw, and let those spaces soften here as well. In restorative yoga, we are not forcing anything, including our breath. So allow your breath to just do whatever it is that it wants to do. If it wants to go deep or shallow or yawn, just let it do it. And then very slowly take your bent leg and just slide it out long onto the floor. Use your hands and gently press up and take your hands onto your face. Bend your knees. So bend your knees and your arms. So begin with your head and very gently just tip your head. Imagine that your head is full of thick fluid like honey. And you're going to move your head around just as if you're moving this thick fluid through the globe of your skull. And from an asymmetric pose that we were just in, and just feeling this more symmetric pose, dropping the front of your hips. Yeah. And take a big inhale breath and dropping your feet down. And now do the other side. The other side, elbow and knee come close together. Feeling the support of the towels underneath you. And then taking your back hand and let it rest right at the root of your skull. Breathing into the rib cage. Feeling the hug of the scarf around you and the support of the floor underneath you. However your breath is flowing, allow each exhale to find a place of holding or gripping and invite it to let go. So that may be around your eyes or your mouth. It may be in your hands or your shoulders. Notice any sensations of you holding yourself up. See if you can let go and soften down into the inherent support of you on the earth. Notice both of your thigh bones and both upper arm bones. And then taking a deep breath, gently straightening out your bent leg, very slowly taking your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself up into all fours. Draw your knees in. And just for a breath, just for a beat, take yourself into a child's pose. Just feeling your body symmetrical, arms long, spine long. And then gently bring yourself back up into sitting. And we'll adjust the towels first. So take these two towels and just fold both of them in half. So you got kind of more like a big Lego. A little taller rectangle. And we're going to do a heart opening pose, but we're going to support the head with the scarf by doing what I call the babushka. So just take the scarf over your head, and you can just leave it like this, just hanging down like this, like a hood, like a hoodie on a sweatshirt. Or if you like, you can do a wrap around like this. Even if it's warm where you are right now, this wrap gives the head the sense of safety and support. So this is why a scarf can be nice and not a blanket, because it's not necessarily warm as much as supportive. And then just turn yourself around. You may want to have your mask or your eye covering handy. And you're going to take this second towel, and it's going to go right underneath your heart. So leaning back, and just find the towel right underneath your heart, and then this one right underneath your head. So it may take a little bit of fidgeting to get that to work just right. Now for your legs, you're welcome to have them long if you like. You're also welcome to take them into constructive rest, which is feet wide and knees in. But what I'm really liking right now is having one leg out, dropping one knee, and one knee up toward the sky. Arms open in a cactus pose that give you this gentle opening through the heart. So feel free just to really fidget around until you find what feels right. You want in restorative to find the support that allows you to stay, that you could stay in these poses for an extended period of time. So part of that is adjusting the props. Part of that is allowing yourself to settle. If you like, you can cover your eyes with your mask or your eye pillow. I'm going to not do that just so I can stay connected to you. But darkness is one of the indicators for the body to relax. It's also a way of going inward and really dropping into the sensations of your body in this position. So now notice the sensation through your heart as you breathe. You can imagine your heart like a pond lily floating on the ripples of the water. Just as fish and boats and swimmers create ripples in the water that move the flower on the surface, so your breath can move in ripples, lifting and lowering your heart. And if your legs are in an asymmetrical pose like mine, take an inhale breath and let both knees come to the sky, and then tip the other knee out. Just notice how that feels. Feel the sensation of your elbows heavy, as if there was a connection between the edges of your collarbones, your clavicle bones, and your elbows, creating some length across the top of your chest and heart, through the weight of your arms. Let your awareness alight upon your toes and your fingers, allowing all 20 of them to relax. Notice the weight of your head. Feel if maybe just a very slight rock side to side feels good, or if just letting it sink into the floor feels good. Relaxing the muscles at your belly, letting it be very soft there. This tender, fleshy place between your pelvis and your rib cage. Let's just take a couple of breaths, a couple of humming breaths. So inhale deeply, making some kind of humming noise. See if you can let the humming come from your belly more than your throat. Inhale and hum. One more time. And then everybody, no matter what your legs are doing, bring both knees up, and everybody, just for a couple of breaths, take your legs into constructive rest with your feet wide and your knees in. Feel a sensation in your hip sockets. And then take your time here. Very slowly pour your weight over to one side, and then use your top hand to push down and come back into seated. So take your time. Let yourself reorient so you can relax your babushka. Let your head find its orientation on top of your spine. Just feel the reverberation of these poses. And then take your second, we're going to take a supported shavasana. So, and if you prefer, you can do an unsupported shavasana. If you feel better just flat on the floor, go for that. I'm going to do one with my head and my knees supported. There are a couple of variations here that might also feel good, and I'll talk you through that. You could also do it right at the base of your hips, right at the base of your butt, or under your knees. And then I want to show you this wrap of the scarf. I call this a reverse heart wrap, but I learned this from Jillian Pransky, who is a genius restorative yoga teacher. And what I'd like you to do is take your scarf wide like this and wrap it. Start at the front of your heart, kind of tuck it underneath your armpits, and then wrap the tails around the outside of your shoulders. Yeah? And so then you can take the tails in either side so that the front of your heart is getting some support. I find this to be a really comforting posture or wrap, in that it's both my heart and my shoulders. Again, it's this simulated hug sensation that feels really supportive and comforting. So then take yourself down onto either your supports or just into your unsupported Shavasana. And again, let yourself wriggle and wiggle. And I'm actually going to change my mind and not have that underneath my knees, but instead have it right at the base of my butt. That feels better to me. Right? So we've talked before about how we can set an intention, and if our actions are not in alignment with the intention, then just change the action. Right? You don't have to stay with something that's not working. So you can take your hands and leave them with this connection to the scarf. But I find that once I've kind of got that set up, it works just fine for me to release my hands or to put them on my belly. Again, you can take your mask or your eye covering and use it to block out the light. And feel yourself just land here. So sometimes when we're swept up in momentum and habit, when life feels confusing and unruly, that we can find ourselves in places that we can land and be like, how did I end up here? But using this practice to say, okay, this is where I am. I am here right now. And then taking some time to drop inward. So begin with the sensation of your skin. You might feel temperature or texture, pressure or weight. You might feel a pulsing or a tingling sense of flow. Notice what you notice on your skin. And then drop a little deeper into the sensation of your tissue, to muscle, connective tissue, organs. take a breath into the sensation of your flesh. See if you can let the fibers of your tissues relax a little bit, soften just a little bit. Mm. Like the tide coming in, let your breath sweep through your body, through your tissues, with the idea of dissolving any places of holding. Letting your breath saturate your body with ease, with presence, right here. And then drop a little deeper, feeling the weight of your bones. As your tissues relax, feel how your bones drop even just a little bit closer into gravity. Little bones in your hands and your feet, in your spine. Big bones in your arms and your legs, your pelvis, your skull. Shoulder blades softening down as if you could nestle into soft sand. Big broad bone of sacrum, similarly nestling down. Even the bird-like bones of clavicles, collarbones, and ribs. With every exhale, soften and weight down, heavy down, just a little. Letting your teeth part, your tongue soften into the bottom of your mouth. Maybe even swallow to relax your throat. And I'll be quiet here for a little while, allowing yourself to stay in your own orientation within yourself. As always, you are welcome to stay here as long as you like. And when you're ready to come out, begin by letting your breath just get a little deeper. Let your fingertips, your thumbs rub against your fingers, just awaken sensation in your tips of your fingers. And then whether or not you have your eye covering on over your eyes, just let your heels of your hands come up and rest over your eyelids. Feeling just a little weight, a little support there. Hello, Phoenix. And then as you're ready, draw your knees up into your chest and gently roll to one side. Hi, baby. And pause here. Let yourself just stop and just feel your body reorient in this shape. And then again, use your top hand and push yourself upward. You can let your scarf fall away, or if you feel cool, which often happens when we practice, you can take it around your body to give yourself a little warmth. And then sitting on your towel if you like. And just feel the reorientation to upright. And taking your water or your tea, if you have it, to hydrate, to set the intention of our practice, to allow it to ripple forward into the rest of whatever is ahead of us. Remembering that for all of us, at certain times in our lives and certain times in our day, we need to reorient, look around, and look inward, introspect. Yeah. We need to use our sense of awareness, our sense of presence to feel where I am in the space and in the world and where I am in myself. So taking a breath and then sit. Really noticing the liquid moving down into the body. So nourishing. Friends, thank you for being here to practice with me. It matters. It makes a difference. It matters not just to you, but to everyone who you interact with, and I would argue to the larger world. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click like and share. Spread the word that we've got more than 100 practices in the Dancing Water collection that are all organized by category, so you can find whatever you need whenever you need it. You can also reach out to me. I love to hear from you. You can find me at my blog at focuspocusnow.com and at my website at susanmccullough.com. Thank you for being here. Until next time.